Obama threatens to impose Palestinian state. The Obama administration told the Palestinians if a deal is ultimately not reached with Israel, the U.S. would consider imposing a solution that Israel won't appreciate. Further, the negotiator said recent meetings between the Obama administration and the Palestinians revealed the White House is on board a Palestinian threat to unilaterally asked the United Nations to recognize a Palestinian state outside of negotiations with Israel. The negotiator said the U.S. wanted from now to stress negotiations between the parties, but that if an agreement is not reached, the U.S. would not veto a UN Security Council resolution to unilaterally create a Palestinian state. A White House statement said the two discussed the need for both parties to negotiate seriously and in good faith, and to move to direct negotiations as soon as possible in order to reach agreement on a permanent status issues. This is absolutely crazy. The things that are happening right now are insane. Again, if the United States of America does this, expect judgment to come swiftly. There is no way that the Lord, the God of Israel, is going to turn his back if the United States of America takes part in this. The fact that they're even considering it is absurd. The United States of America will never be the same. God's protective covering and hand that has already been semi-removed will be completely removed, and America will lie naked and barren with no armor and no protection. Be praying for the peace of Jerusalem. Thousands of bees swarm White House. A swarm of thousands of bees gathered outside the White House this morning. The small army of insects hovered as President Barack Obama tried to leave the White House to play basketball, according to the Pool report. By the time the president returned at noon, the bees were apparently nowhere in sight. I do not know if that has any biblical symbolism or not, but it is pretty funny. We are already in a military confrontation with Iran. Despite declarations of peace, Israel is actively preparing for a regional war over the next few months. Hezbollah was said to have established an estimated 160 outposts and bunkers in southern Lebanon near the border with Israel. Military sources said Hezbollah was expected to receive significant support from the U.S. equipped Lebanese army, which has deployed air defense systems as well as 15,000 soldiers in the south. There is no doubt, looking at the overall situation, that we are already in a military confrontation with Iran. Iran is the main motivator of those attacking us. The only thing that can stop this from happening is if the Lord intervenes. I mean, we do know from biblical prophecy that eventually there will be a war. So if the Lord intervenes, it's only because it's not the right time yet. The Lord's timing is perfect. So when it does happen, it's God willing. Alright, this article is a little bit old. It's all the way back from February, but I just wanted to read it for those who happen to miss it. Missile Defense Agency logo angers right. The Drudge Report and other conservative sites are highlighting a new logo for the U.S. Department of Defense Missile Defense Agency and complaining that the new logo, pictured at the left, is reminiscent of both the Obama campaign logo and the Islamic flag. The new shield appears to reflect a morphing of the Islamic crescent and the star of the Obama campaign logo. Now, if any person who has ever in their life seen a picture of what the Muslim flag looks like, and then they saw this, They would think they're the same. If anybody is doubting that the Muslims are taking over the world, they need to take a good look at this logo. It is obviously a moon with the star. There's no way around it. Obama's a Muslim, and now the United States of America is using a Muslim logo for their missile defense agency. Anyways, I know that's a really old article, but for those that missed it, I wanted them to see it. Absolutely. There will be more attacks in New York. Muslim extremist warns America, Times Square, just the beginning. The car bomb attempt in Times Square will just be the beginning of a new wave of terrorist attacks. When asked if the Times Square attack was aimed at the offices of the nearby Viacom, which owns the South Park series, they deflected the question to condemn the U.S. foreign policy instead. Quote, "It was a retaliation for what your government is doing overseas. If you want to continue killing civilians, then you're going to get many incidents that resembled what happened yesterday." RevolutionMuslim.com warned this is a very real possibility that your South Park creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stones, will end up murdered just like the Theo van Gogh, the Dutch filmmaker killed by an Islamic extremist in 2004 after making a film critical of Islam. We do not condone nor condemn terrorists. There is no relations between our organization and these attacks. He predicted there will be a lot more terrorist attacks in the United States. Probably you should bring your imperial overstretch home before you're destroyed. Stop trying to police the world. Nobody likes you people. The United States has kicked God out of almost everything. So we cannot expect God to protect this country in its time of need and its time of trouble. It is going against Israel, and it's going against God. The day of prayer, as most of you know, is considered unconstitutional now. But yet, Obama dedicated an entire month, the month of June, to the homosexuals. How is that constitutional? It's not about Constitution. It's not about the laws. It's not about Democrat. It's not about Republicans. It's about a country turning its back on the Father and forgetting God. Every day we get closer and closer to seeing a Palestinian state. We get closer and closer to the Lord coming back. Don't waste any more time. We are out of time. Tomorrow is not the time to get right with the Lord. Yesterday was the time to get right with the Lord. Our time is up. Don't mess around anymore. Games are over. We are living in the end times, whether we want to admit it or not. Yeshua Jesus is preparing the way for His coming. We have to be ready.